It's 9 p.m. and you're sitting at your desk, takeout containers scattered around your laptop, and you promised yourself this morning today would be different, that you'd stick to your meal plan that you carefully created over the weekend. But then the day happened, back to back meetings, a client crisis, barely enough time to breathe, let alone follow a structured eating schedule. But here's what no one is telling you: the reason you can't stick to an eating plan isn't because you lack discipline. I mean, look at everything else you've been able to achieve in your life. The real reason is that you're trying to follow plans designed for people who don't have your level of pressure, responsibility, and stress. And it's time that we change that. I'm Jessica Lawson, and I intimately understand this struggle. As a former tech executive, I gained 140 pounds while building my career, all while trying to hide my relationship with food behind closed office doors. I'd be crushing it in the boardroom, leading major initiatives, earning promotions, but privately, I was drowning in shame every time I ordered takeout or stress ate my way through another late night project. Even after having bariatric surgery and losing the weight, I discovered the hardest truth: changing your body doesn't heal your relationship with food. I still found myself hiding snacks in my desk drawer, feeling guilty about every business dinner, and trying to maintain this image of having it all together while secretly struggling. But the real breakthrough came when I finally realized something. The problem wasn't me. The problem was trying to force myself into eating plans that completely ignored the realities of a high pressure career. Everything changed when I stopped trying to follow rigid diet rules and started creating strategic systems that worked with my high performance lifestyle, not against it. And today, as a certified nutrition coach, I help other high achieving women break free from food stress using the exact framework that I discovered. So if you're ready to stop feeling like you're living a double life, successful on the outside but struggling with food in private, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because every week I'm sharing strategies specifically designed for high achieving women just like you who deserve to have both career success and food freedom. Let me paint a picture that might feel familiar. You're sitting in your office about to head into your third meeting of the day, and you know you should eat something, but the salad you carefully meal prepped is sitting in your fridge at home because who had time to grab it during this morning's crisis? You grab whatever's available, feeling that familiar pang of guilt and frustration, wondering why you can't just get it together with food like you have with everything else in your life. This is why traditional eating plans fail for high achievers like us. They're built on a fancy world where you have predictable meal times. When was the last time your day went as planned? You perfectly prepped food while you're traveling 3 days a week? Rigid food rules during client dinners and networking events? Complete control over your schedule in the middle of quarterly planning? Then there's what I call the high achievers food trap. Now, the more successful you become, the more you actually need strategic nutrition to maintain your energy and mental clarity. But here's the cruel irony: it's also when you have the least time and mental bandwidth to think about food. So you end up skipping meals until you're absolutely starving, surviving on coffee and protein bars, stress eating through late night projects, and feeling guilty about every bite that isn't perfect. If you're feeling seen right now, if you're tired of the constant mental chatter about food, or feeling like you're failing at something that seems so basic while succeeding at everything else, I want you to know two things. First, you're not alone. Second, and more importantly, there's a way out that doesn't involve giving up your ambitions or living on meal replacement shakes. There's a strategic solution designed specifically for women like us. Let me take you through a day in the life of a high achieving woman, and maybe it sounds familiar to you. You wake up at 5:30 a.m., determined that today will be different. You've got your workout clothes laid out, you've got your meal prep done, your schedule planned, but then reality hits. Your 8 a.m. team meeting runs long and you miss breakfast. The client presentation at 10 becomes a crisis management session. And lunch, that's a protein bar scarfed down between calls. And by 4 p.m., you're running on caffeine and adrenaline. And at 6, you're at a networking event trying to make smart choices while feeling absolutely exhausted. And by 9 p.m., you're back at your desk ordering takeout, binging, and wondering where your willpower went. This creates what I call the success stress spiral. And there's 3 forces that constantly work against you. First, there's the energy paradox. The more successful you become, the more energy you need, but the less time you have to fuel yourself properly. Second, there's the decision drain. You're making million-dollar decisions all day, but by the time it comes to your food choices, your mental bandwidth is completely depleted. Finally, there's the perfection trap. You're used to excellence in everything you do, so when you can't execute a meal plan perfectly, you feel like a complete failure. But here's what most experts miss entirely, and what took me years to understand. The problem isn't your discipline or commitment. The problem is that you're trying to follow nutrition advice created for people who don't have have to make high stakes decisions all day, who don't deal with constant crisis management, who don't have to be on from dawn until well past dusk. Let's talk about the strategic solution because it's going to be where everything changes. So instead of trying to force yourself into someone else's rigid plan, we need to create what I call your high performance nutrition strategy. So think about how you've achieved success in your career. You didn't do it through rigid rules and perfect execution. You did it through strategic thinking, flexible systems, consistency planning, and performance optimization. Now, with my clients, what I see is that their transformation comes when we stop trying to follow traditional advice and instead create strategic systems designed specifically for their high performance lives. So I help them develop specific approaches for high stakes meeting days when anxiety is high, travel days when control is limited, crisis management periods when time is scarce, recovery days when rest is essential, and late night work sessions when willpower is depleted. And the result is that my clients stop feeling guilty about not following a perfect plan and start feeling confident in their ability to navigate any situation while supporting their health goals. So let me show you exactly how we transform your relationship with food using the key elements of the Freedom Framework, because this is not about perfect eating. It's about strategic success that supports your ambitious life. We start with foundation, but not in the way that you might think. This is about creating your success infrastructure. And first, we build your energy insurance policy. This includes morning power protocols that set you up for high performance days, strategic fueling windows that prevent energy crashes before big meetings, quick recovery systems for when your schedule gets derailed, and crisis-proof nutrition strategies that work even in chaos. Your crisis navigation protocol comes next. This is going to include the exact steps to take when your day explodes, ready to implement backup plans for unexpected situations, strategic solutions for when you're running from meeting to meeting, and clear decision frameworks for high pressure moments. Then we focus on reconnection because this is where the magic really happens. Think about it. You're brilliant at reading the room in meetings, at sensing when a project is off track, at knowing when your team needs support. So we're going to help you develop that same intuition with your body so that you know how to distinguish between stress hunger and true hunger. You understand when you actually need fuel versus when you need rest. You understand what your energy patterns are telling you about your needs and how to trust your body's signals even in high pressure situations. Now, this leads us to the most transformative part, developing your empowered mindset, because this is where everything's going to change. Because we're not just transforming what you eat, we're transforming how you think about food and breaking free from the perfectionism trap that's keeping you stuck, building unshakable confidence in your food choices, and creating a success-oriented relationship with food, developing the same strategic approach to food that you bring to your career. But here's what makes this framework completely different. It's built specifically for high performers like you, and every strategy, every tool, every protocol, it is designed to work with your ambitious life, not against it. We're not trying to turn you into someone who could spend hours meal prepping or someone who never attends business dinners. We're helping you become someone who can close major deals over client dinners without food stress, travel for business without derailing your progress, handle crisis periods without turning to food for comfort, and maintain your success while feeling in control of your eating. And the rest of the framework supports these core elements, ensuring that you have systems for every situation and strategy for every challenge. But here's what's really beautiful is that once these foundational pieces are in place, food stops becoming something you fight against and becomes something that actually enhances your success. Imagine walking into your next board meeting not worried about what to eat or when to eat, but fully focused on your presentation. Imagine ending your day feeling energized and in control, not exhausted and guilty. This isn't just possible, it's inevitable with the right strategic approach. So now let me give you 3 powerful steps that you can take away right now, actual strategies that you could implement today to start transforming your relationship with food. First, we're going to create what I call your success situation map. This is not another food diary. It's a strategic assessment of when and why food becomes your struggle. So pick your 3 most challenging days from the last 2 weeks. Note exactly when you felt out of control with food. Write down what was happening in your work and life at those moments. And identify your current emergency responses to stress. Is it skipping meals, ordering takeout, stress eating in your office? Here's what one of my clients, Amanda, discovered. Her biggest challenges weren't random. They were directly tied to her weekly team meetings. And the stress of presenting to the board was triggering what she called her preparation panic eating. And just having this awareness was the first step in her transformation. Next, we're going to create your high performance backup protocol. So think of this like your emergency response system. Identify your 3 most common high stress situations. Maybe it's back-to-back meetings, travel days, or client crisis management. Then create specific action plan for each. Stock your office, car, and home with what I call success station supplies, and then design your stress response strategy that isn't based on food. Finally, let's implement your power performance system. Now, this is about setting up your environment for success. So I want you to create what I call decision-free zones in your schedules. These are times when you don't have to think about food. Next, set up your energy insurance policy. So these are strategic fuel stations in your workspace. Then establish a recovery routine for after high pressure situations and design your meeting day success strategy. Now, remember, this is not about perfection. This is about progress. Every small step you take brings you closer to the freedom and confidence you deserve. And just like you didn't build your career overnight, you don't have to transform your relationship with food overnight either. What matters is that you're taking strategic, purposeful steps forward. Imagine approaching food with the same strategic confidence that you bring to your career. Imagine knowing exactly how to handle any eating situation while maintaining your professional performance, because you've already proven that you can excel in your career. So now it's time to apply that same strategic thinking to your relationship with food. So if you're ready to transform your approach to eating, here's your next step. Book a food freedom strategy session with me. And during this session, we're going to analyze your current eating patterns, identify your biggest challenges, create your personalized strategic plan, and determine if my coaching program is the right fit for your transformation. But I want to be clear, this is not for everyone. I only work with women who are ready to stop trying quick fixes and create real lasting change. Click the link below in the description to book your strategy session. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more strategies designed specifically for high achieving women like you who want to optimize their relationship with food while excelling in their careers. And remember, you don't have to choose between success in your career and with food. You can have both.